In an interview or discussion, you may be asked questions related to your background. Let us look at some such questions and possible answers.
What qualities of yours make you fit for this role?
Based on the requirements you posted in the job portal, I understand that your company is looking for a skilled communicator with some experience in customer service. I was fortunate to get some exposure in this industry as I have recently completed my internship with the global products company. As you can see from my resume, I have also just acquired a certification in customer service management. I am confident about the fact that my strong communication skills and problem-solving abilities make me a strong contender for this position of bank teller. While volunteering at the youth camp for the blind, I learned the art of patience as I had to patiently manage all the participants and find ways to effectively communicate with them. Coordinating the event along with my seniors helped me develop my organization skills, which are also imperative for this role. Also, I used to help with sales at my uncle's shop, where I had to talk to customers and understand what they wanted. This gave me some insight into the nuances of customer service. I believe that this combination of skill sets makes me a good fit for this role.
The interviewer asked, what qualities of yours make you fit for the role? It's a straightforward question, but it can make interviewees nervous, especially if they aren't confident or feel uncomfortable selling themselves. Let us see how Rita did it. She started off her response by mentioning the internship she just completed. Rita has been lucky that the internship that she did gave her the exposure that she needs in this new job. Next, she mentions the certification course that she just completed, which is also relevant to the position she has applied for. Next, she talks about her skill set, which is strong communication and problem-solving skills. She also adds that she is a good listener. She concludes by mentioning that this combination of skill sets makes her a good fit for this role. Here are some of the key takeaways from Rita's response. 1. You have to convince the interviewer that you possess a combination of skills and experience that makes you stand out from the crowd. The interviewer will be looking for skills that are relevant to the particular job and organization. What this means is that you need not mention skills and experiences which are not useful for the role. 2. When talking about skills, provide enough evidence to show that you indeed possess these skills. It will help convince the interviewer that you really do have those skills and are not just making them up. Number 3. When talking about experiences and achievements, mention how these are relevant to the job you are applying for. Number 4. Be concise. And number 5, speak with confidence. Now let us look at these points in detail. You might have varied skill set, but mention the ones that will add value to the job you applied for. For this, you will have to do a bit of research before appearing for the interview. Since this is a position for bank teller, it is necessary that the person has strong communication skills. Problem-solving skills is also something the company will look for. Some of the phrases you can use while answering this question are, I am confident that. Example, I am confident that I can manage the tasks and meet the deadlines. I possess the skills to. Example, I possess the skills to persuade customers to buy products that actually suit them, even though the prices may be high. I pride myself on being. Example, I pride myself on being independent. Before I seek assistance, I do research. I understand that time is valuable for everybody. I am driven to. Example, I am driven to find solutions to new problems that might arise at the production stage. I can meticulously handle. Example, I can meticulously handle the projects as planned. I am consistently good at. Example, I am consistently good at achieving my sales targets. One of my greatest skills is. Example, one of my greatest skills is to understand other people, what motivates them and how they work. Always remember to provide evidence to show that you have the qualities that you claim to have. You can mention instances from your academic, professional life, your experience performing certain tasks or duties. Avoid examples that are too informal or immature and don't add validity to what you are saying. For example, saying, "I'm an excellent listener, which is why all my friends love talking to me about their personal problems." If you have completed any certification courses or internships that might add to your value in their organization, you can include that detail in your response. I have completed, I have obtained my certification in XYZ, the 6 months internship I did at, I interned at, my experience at, are some of the phrases with which you can draw their attention to this information. If you have any additional information in your resume which you would like your potential employees to look at, you can draw their attention using phrases like, "As you can see from my resume," "You would have learned from my resume that," "I've mentioned in my resume that," "As highlighted in my resume." Mention personal experiences and achievements which make you seem extra qualified for the job. Do not mention other candidates. This is an opportunity to focus on yourself. Keep it concise. Make sure that your response falls within the 1 to 2 minute range. During the interview, you really need to focus on what sets you apart from the crowd. Speak with confidence and enthusiasm. Make sure you're being completely honest in everything you say. Let's move on to the next question.
Tell us 3 unique things about the city or district or state that you are from.
The first thing that comes to my mind is that my district bagged the prize for being the most tourist-friendly district in the state. We are known for our hospitality. Second, I recently read that my town has the least number of road accidents in the last 6 months. It was less than 600. The credit goes to the traffic police and the common public. My district is also famous for taking prompt, preventive and corrective action against the practice of dowry.
Let us first try to figure out what the interviewer is looking for from this question. They might want to test your awareness of what's happening around you. It could also be an indirect way of finding out what things matter to you and what you find significant. Your response should highlight qualities that are either beneficial to the job or qualities that would build your character profile. For example, points that make you seem environmentally aware, sensitive to the underprivileged, socially aware, etc. While you prepare for your interview, keep your responses ready and have information to validate your response. Rita answered by saying that her district has bagged the prize for being the most tourist-friendly district in the state, and they are known for their hospitality. This is also an opportunity to indirectly highlight a quality that she thinks is significant. Hospitality, the act of being friendly and welcoming. This is relevant in a customer service job. Next, she mentions that her district had the least number of road accidents in the current year. She supports the statement by giving values. Here, the skill that would stand out is her general knowledge and her interest in reading about these facts. It also shows that she values rules and safety. Finally, she mentions that her district is famous for taking prompt, preventive and corrective action against the practice of dowry. This will also give an insight into her opinions and her stand on matters concerning the society. Some of the phrases that you can use to talk about your city, district, state are: the fact that my city, example, the fact that my city conducts regular health checkups for the senior citizens shows the authority's commitment towards the citizens. The most distinct feature of my, example, the most distinct feature of my district is its temples that date back several centuries. We are famous for, example, we are famous for being the only district that has denounced the unjust practice of dowry. What makes my district unique is, example, what makes my district unique is the perfectly maintained historical buildings. Nowhere else in the country can you find similar buildings in such fine shape. My district stands out by being the only district. Example, my district stands out in being the only district that is free of single-use plastic bags. Our most prominent attraction is, example, our most prominent attraction is the carefully preserved wildlife sanctuary that is home to more than 500 species of birds and animals. My city is celebrated for its, example, my city is celebrated for its unique handicrafts that have found markets in foreign countries too. Keep in mind that you should talk about the positive aspects only. Now let's go to the next question.
Why did you do what you did? Tell us about your experiences doing it.
I always knew what I wanted to be as I was passionate about numbers right from my school days. I could do complex math calculations in my mind and I was always working with numbers. Before I completed my 10th grade, I decided that I would work in a bank so that I could work with numbers on a daily basis. I was also a mentor for several of my juniors in school. I loved being able to guide people and support them to be the best they can. I think this job is the perfect mix of both my passions, numbers and people. To make my way through to the top, I knew I needed certain qualifications and skill sets. I researched about these and I'm taking one step at a time towards my long-term goal of being a bank manager. I have experienced setbacks. I was unable to clear one of my job interviews, but it only encouraged me to do more research and learning. I signed up for coaching classes and also got a mentor to guide me through the process. The journey has had its ups and downs, but I am learning from these experiences. I reflect on why I fail and work on ways to prevent it in the future.
Here, Rita's response is short and direct and shows that she has a clear vision for herself. Any organization would value a candidate with a clear vision. Rita's response also shows that she believes in planning and executing the plans. It also shows that she is not flustered by challenges and is able to handle these situations. So your response to such a question should highlight your qualities. Let us look at some of the phrases you can use in your response. Here are some phrases which you can use to express why you chose what you did. I was motivated by. Example, I was motivated by the necessity of providing affordable healthcare to people in rural areas like my village. My aim was to. Example, my aim was to find a job that would help me find a solution to the power supply problems in the country. I was guided by my. Example, I was guided by my interest in animal welfare. My academic scores suggested that. Example, my academic scores suggested that I had a thorough knowledge about the basics of physics, which I can apply in my job as a design engineer. It was or is my dream too. Example, it is my dream to raise a more socially responsible generation, and there is no place better than schools to influence children and guide them in the right path. I was inspired by my. Example, I was inspired by my grandmother, who herself broke all stereotypes and wanted me to be a mechanical engineer. I always had a flair for. Example, I always had a flair for numbers, which is why I decided on this line of work. Now let us look at some phrases that can be used to describe the experience. I experienced setbacks. Example, I experienced setbacks which only motivated me to be better prepared for the interviews. I was over the moon. Example, I was over the moon when I realized that I had cleared the preliminary rounds of the interview. It had an impact. My family moving back to my hometown had a great impact, and I had to surmount the difficulties of settling in a new city independently. I was ambivalent about. Example, I was ambivalent about quitting my last job, but then I wanted to pursue my passion. Let's look at some more examples, combining these two types of phrases. It was my dream to pursue this career, but I was ambivalent about quitting my previous job. I was inspired by my father to become a successful engineer, and I was over the moon when I qualified for the face-to-face interview in this company. My aim was to provide better healthcare facilities to people in my village, and the clinics I set up helped people immensely. It had a positive impact on me and drove me to do better. Hope you learned how to respond to such questions in an interview. Until I see you in another episode, happy learning.